Namaste programs, welcome back to the stream, to the Disco Elysium, where all music goes to die, or some such. Got a bit of a headache, so we'll see how we go today. May have to take some ibuprofen. I don't like taking it, but I may have to. I have shaved my beard for reasons unknown. What were we doing? That I need to get in from above by kicking the door down, but I don't have the another day for Alice. Alright, we're searching the Doom commercial area. That's what we're doing. That's where our mission has taken us. Which is over here. I've forgotten what was holding us back from being able to go in here. It has been a long time. Yo.
What have you found? And also, do buy the books. There may be teachings in them.
I had a few more questions about the curse. Have we... What about the wards on the back door? Are these 70s as well? Yes, I've already done all that. Okay, so I wanted to go this way. And there was something... What was stopping us? No sane person would ever put their head into such machine. To her head into such a machine. What? What? English, motherfucker. Do you speak it? Right, so we were here. There was a barbell. Barbell waits patiently on the floor like a dog for its master. 3%. I am -1 on physical instrument. How can I be -1? Look, Kim, it's a trap. There are no collars on the barbell. You're right. The weights may fall off. Better not touch it then. When a bastard would just remove the collars, it should be a felony. It would be a violation of EPIS safety regulations if the gym was still operating. But it isn't. No one's supposed to come here anymore. Right, and I've already determined I can't put much on for physical instrument, can I? I can go, why am I -1? Oh, because of, because of a thought I'm having is I'm -2 physical instrument. Is this Contact Mike, the boxing champion? Where? Oh, he wants to talk now all of a sudden.
It's dark.
The lieutenant states the obvious. And the flashlight works a lot better if you hold it in your hand. Ah. Fair point, yes, totally obvious. Right, now let's get to it, the lieutenant nods. Some areas are inaccessible without equipping your flashlight. Go to inventory. Right, so that's... I could have done this before, but I needed a friggin' flashlight? Oh, take that, game. I did... It was when Kim wasn't around that I did this, so... Yeah, I don't think I could have gone here. Yes, well, that's because I needed the flashlight. A large demijohn full of strange liquid. Wild animals stare at you in the dark, stuffed and mounted. Garter. We know you like that shit. Airship rotors covered in spider webs. They remind you of blades. Around that way, huh? A naked mannequin torso, a strange yellow color. Is the music trying to sound like a mosquito? But where are the clothes it used to display? Blue velvet, soft to the touch, moth-bitten. Is this Emma's atelier? Give me the money. Alright, that's around there as well. Hang on, back this way first. Look at that. Give me the money. Give me the money. Skis with slipstream printed on the laminated top layer. Production schedule filament memory. Is that what I'm looking for? Tube-like crisscross of filaments feels oddly fragile in your hand, its intricate structure covered in dust. Silver tape on the side reads production schedule. Note, this filament contains information that can be read using a radio computer. That wasn't the giant ice bear fridge. But I am looking for a filament memory there, so that's something else I could do on her computer, I guess. Steel rotor blades bearing the Slipstream logo. Conceptualization. Looks like someone tried to reconceptualize their business here. I don't get it. Look, the skis and rotor blades both bear the same Slipstream logo. It seems likely that they started out making one, failed to turn a profit, and then pivoted to producing the other. The question is, which did they start with, and which did they pivot to? That's a good question. What a strange leap of imagination, yet they still failed. How sad. That's just speculation, we don't know anything for sure. What a strange leap of imagination, yet they still failed. How sad. Reality is ruthless. Bear with me, chat. I need some bloody drugs. My head is killing me. It is murdering me. I shall have to send Harriet Dubois after the fucking murder of my head here. Let's take a pill. Drink some water. Get some more water. I do not condone drug taking of any sort, unless you really wanna. Okay, good to know, good to know. Skis and rotor blades, huh? Alright, let's look at them. We've got a madness wall. Every game has to have a madness wall. Project Dreadboard. Your flashlight slides over an old green chalkboard covered in scribbles, sketches and schemes like some ancient cave mural. Some of the writing is faded with age, but you can still make out sections here and there. Photos and drawings have been pinned to the board. Inspect the drawings. These lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be different types of welkins. You make out autumnal candle welcomes, casting wax-based magic. You know what? I think part of the headache is RSI in my right hand. So we're changing mouse side, chat. We're now left-handed. We can do it. We'll probably press the wrong buttons. Translucent welkins with augurs shining under their skin, and even ether welkins hailing from the vast emptiness of sidereal space. You should adopt one of those welkins as your persona, no longer a mere man, but a welkin. One of the welkins towering among the rest appears to be different, however. Examine the welkin, this is important. It's Vahamira, a high welkin, his face white and scarred like cracked marble. This is clearly a welkin supremacist. The note says, all non-welkin races will be purged. The Holder, the Dweorg, the humans, and even the Headless Men, all of them purged. Imagine a world filled only with welkin, green welkin, dread welkin, and the high welkin to rule them all. Kim, the lieutenant can't help but comment, an inordinate amount of time has gone into drawing these little welkin creatures. Why would anyone spend so much time on this? Some people really like building a world, I think, even if it's just for a game. Meta. Who are these creatures? Who drew them? Are they real? I have so many questions. This looks like concept art for a project. It is not real. One of them is a welcome supremacist. Political commentary. That one has a great beard, too. The lieutenant nods at the Welkin's facial hair. Well, this has been educational. Let's move on from the Welkins. Inspect the photos. The photo collage depicts barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night. You see permafrost and glacial landforms, dead trees groaning under the snow. Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. There are pictures of settlements on dried-up riverbeds abandoned in a storm. Animal corpses in the dark, carcasses and bones. Encyclopedia. You see primitive oil rigs built into glaciers by boreal Dweorg. Yurts under the snow, great mammoth-like beasts of burden. Electrochemistry. Albeit dark and cold, this vision also feels cozy in its own way, like eggnog or morphine, a much-needed respite from our own world. A pinned postcard reads, the heat death scenario, a desperate fight for geothermal energy engulfs the world as Ural becomes untethered from its sun, drifting through the universe. Inspect the schedule. This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily mini-me, and GPI span the marker-drawn grid, the grand scheme of production and money. Site. It looks a bit like an academic calendar, only much more brutal. Encyclopedia. Mini-me stands for a mini-meeting. It's part of a bigger framework for managing work called RUN. Station 41 tried to implement it a few years ago but failed. Keep reading what happened. As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days. Only failure and regret dwell in this region. Lieutenant looks at the frigid ice field of nothingness and concludes, looks like they didn't make it. A note in the bottom left corner of the chalkboard says, see the production schedule filament for details. Inspect the notes. The handwriting is only partly legible, but you can still make out 3 slogans: call in, tune out, Viral Untethered, and Heat Death of the Universe. Site. The full text read, Heat Death of the Universe is the new black. Another note says, the biggest advancement in role-playing systems since the 30s. Shivers. Outside, a cold wind wraps the building in its bosom. Snowflakes in the wind. An old woman passes what the locals call the doomed commercial area. She tries not to look at the bookstore window. It's unwise. Right, we need our right hand now to press the tab key. Mainframe. A dusty radio computer sleeps on its wide frame, forgotten and unused. Its keyboard has a rectangular on-off button. A piece of paper still hangs from the printer. Another radio computer, says the lieutenant, watching you circle around the machine. Just sitting here without anyone in sight. Reaction speed. What he means is that these things cost money. Why would anyone just leave it behind? Interfacing. This is the Ream Civic radio computer model RC5120. Equipped with a Feld mainframe and a RAM-compatible printer. Do you think I should turn it on? It's your call. He looks over his shoulder, then back at the machine. You're in charge of this expedition, officer. Savoir-faire. Of course you should turn it on. Don't you want to know what's on the filament? Turn on the machine. The machine lights up like some prehistoric animal stirring from its slumber, revealing virescent play and print keys on the keyboard, and making some weird noises. The hatch on the machine's central compartment is wide open. Look inside the compartment. It's empty, like a beehive without its brood. Some cables have been left dangling, disconnected. Interfacing. The filament you have would fit perfectly inside the compartment. Insert the production schedule. Like a smooth draw, the filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the play key starts blinking. Press play. The speaker comes to life. Static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. An old lady greets you. Her voice sounds 100 years old.
Good afternoon, Fortress Accident on Route Angus Lane. This is East Indian, repeater station 1. Please repeat, is this the production schedule?
Yvonne, it's me again. How are you?
Good, thank you.
It's not clear whether she recognises your voice.
Please repeat, is this the production schedule?
Let's try the password for the production schedule.
Good. Please repeat the password.
I don't know the password. Say afterlife, death.
Good. I've unlocked the production schedule. After ending the call, please press print to access the filament.
Really? She just used the same password? The lieutenant seems almost disappointed to discover that, as he murmurs, maybe those radio computer guys aren't that paranoid after all.
Fortress Accident, is there anything else I can do for you today?
That's all for now.
Thank you and goodbye.
The old lady's voice disappears along with the static. Tiles on the cube are still smouldering, casting the framework in a soft glow. Virescent play and print keys shine on the keyboard. Press. Print. With a quiet determination, the printer starts printing, a piece of paper unfolding like a handheld fan. A black crisscross of letters covers its surface. Read the printout. It's a project report written by the lead producer Andrew Schott about Viral. I was doing that alright before, now I'm doing it terrible. Viral Untethered, a radio game developed by Studio Fortress Accident. The first few pages give an overview of the capital and workforce, while the rest of it seems to be a production schedule. Read about capital. I want to know about money. In its short time of existence, Fortress Accident SCA managed to burn through truly insane amounts of money. The first tranche of seed financing brought in 150,000 real, but then came the delays. Eventually the damage reached 400,000 real with only half of the game finished. Gosh, where did they get all this money? Let's just say it was a real adventure for their Iguanian investor. Read about workforce. Who worked there? How long? Fortress Accident employed 18 people, the bulk of the team composed of writers and concept artists. There were also radio programmers, sound engineers, a CEO, 2 marketing experts, and a single overburdened producer who developed a habit of popping pyrrolidon in the basement to escape his obligations. Logic. Why did Fortress Accident have so many concept artists? Wait, why did a radio game need so many artists? It didn't. It didn't need so many concept artists? No, definitely not. A few more producers could have come in handy though, especially when dealing with writers, some of whom routinely skip work because of mental health issues and extremely unprofessional sleep schedules. One of them even managed to steal some valuable company property before skipping town for good. Skim through the production schedule, whatever it is. The production schedule depicts their glorious descent into bankruptcy. Because of the concept artists? No, not the concept artists. It wasn't even the writers with their panic attacks and 3 hours lunches. It was impossible not to fail. The project was too large and no amount of money could satiate the ever-expanding ambitions of the development team. They tried to make a 4 million real game with 400,000 in their bank account. They thought they could bridge the gap with pure willpower and imagination. They couldn't. Oh, so they were done in by their own ambition. No, even then success remained within an ever-narrowing margin of possibility that, despite everything, never entirely disappeared. That is, until they discovered the Valley of the Heads. That sounds bad. No, it was good. Too good. At the 11th hour, the lead designer, Zimsk-born Sulislaw Zawiza, decided that what Viral Untethered needed was a secret mystical location at the extreme edge of the map. This place was to be the Valley of the Heads, where the heads of all the headless constructs could be found. The player would have been able to choose a head for their headless party member, and each head would have been voiced on air by a professional actor. This is some insane shit. Who were these people? The world had never seen their kind before and might never again. How many heads were there? So many. At last count, there were approximately 10,000 heads for 10,000 headless men, all of which could be endlessly recombined. How many combinations could you make out of that? Do you really want to know? There seems to be a calculation here, but it may take a while. Yeah, how bad could it be? Okay. Pretty bad. Continue. Uh-oh. I didn't say keep going. Continue. You know, sometimes games like to do a joke, and sometimes that joke overstays its welcome. Continue. The lieutenant taps his foot impatiently, his arms folded tight against his chest. I guess they'll keep going until it becomes funny. What have I done? Continue. Champagne content right here. Continue. Interfacing. What if you broke the radio computer? What if it's never going to stop? Just let the numbers wash over you. Oh, and that's it. I was going to say we've got some zeros here. So that was 10,000 to the power of 10,000. Mistakes were made. Okay, so that's what... so that's what did them in? Well, yeah, that and the catastrophic data loss. This must be the anomaly sooner mentioned in the church log. On the nature of the data loss, there's ominously little information in the production log. It comes at the very end where things get fuzzy and dark, where tables and numbers seem to vanish into an eerie nothingness before their Iguanian investor pulled the plug. What is clear is that one day an unidentified numeric anomaly occurred on the East Insulindian Lintel front just as the Viral Untethered project was being compiled that day. And the anomaly caused all the data to get lost in the air. When the project was returned, it was completely blank. The team spent weeks on the phone with Lintel, the service provider, but despite their diagnostics, they could never produce a satisfactory explanation or pay for the loss. What? They lost the whole game and wouldn't even pay for it? Always read the terms of service. Logic. And then, let's face it, they didn't have any money left for a legal action. Wasn't there a copy of the game? A backup? Mysteriously enough, it seems that the off-site copy happened to be on-site when the catastrophic data loss occurred. It was the lead programmer's responsibility to oversee weekly maintenance of the off-site copy and, well, keep it off-site. An explanatory note from the lead programmer has been attached. What does it say? S. Lukanen Kilde, the lead programmer of Fortress Accident. The off-site copy was on-site because there was no off-site anymore. Not for me, not after 8 months of crunch. I didn't have a home anymore, so I started keeping it in the basement in the ice-bear refrigerator near where I went to sleep. It was perfectly safe there. The temperature conditions were optimal. This seems like a personally reasonable explanation. That's not what her colleagues thought. Interfacing. She's right, actually. Nothing wrong with keeping this type of filament memory in a fridge. Is there anything else from this lead programmer? The production schedule ends with a few random notes that seem to be added sometime later. Read the notes at the end. 4 months later, by an unknown author, I am the only one left and it's gotten rather damp here. A few other businesses have gone under too. Slipstream switched to making skis and the hairdressers just left, cursing Martinez. They're right though, something seriously wrong with this place. Martinez, all of it. So they started with the rotor blades and switched to the skis. Mystery solved. Game over. Credits. Still haven't got an answer from Lintel about what happened. All I could get were the physical coordinates of the errors on the East Insulindian front of that day. Since the computation happened on air, I reckoned it had to coincide with an actually existing location. I have compared the coordinates to a map of Reverchol West. Turns out it's only 800 metres from here. The address is St. Brune 1147. I'm going there to look this thing in the eye. Reaction speed. St. Brune 1147? That's what the street sign next to the church said. Well, we already know all of this. Hang on, so I couldn't have read this without knowing the password, and yet it's basically leading me to the church. I guess I could have, there must have been some other way of getting the password. Tear it off, the printout, and throw it away. Tiles on the cube are still smouldering, casting the framework in a soft glow. Fluorescent play and print keys shine on the keyboard. Remove the production schedule. Leave. Nice. Well, what is this one? Is this the same? Frequency fireplace. This old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in blue and red marker, the mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on alabaster skin. It looks ghostly and strangely ancient. Conceptualization. The whole thing resembles Kedron mosaic tiles. Very pesantic. Hold on, how do I know what Kedron mosaic tiles are supposed to look like? History class. Students with their textbooks open, studying the roots of our civilization. Those aquarelle blue tiles look beautiful in the sun. What am I looking at? Radio frequencies, it seems. UKV 123.6, UKV 1.23.7.9. Some written notes too, sparse and cryptic. Radio frequencies for what? Unclear. It looks like a cardiovascular system split into veins and capillaries. Very advanced. So we're dealing with something medical here? You think so? The web is comprised of radio stations, all lead back to one red heart titled the Game Master Frequency. A note says, this one can listen in on any station it wants. Interfacing. They must have had a massive air width. These things don't come cheap. Wait, who's the Game Master? Someone very important. Authority, the leader of a massive on-air game built by these people. Conceptualization, a conductor for the hundreds of story threads that pass through the Game Master's frequency. If it's a game, then who's playing? Whoever decides to call into a call station, it looks like. Site, a list of names under the station suggests people across 6 isolas would be playing. Mundi, Insulinde, Katla, Grad, Samara, and even Ilmara. Logic, there's no way a little basement studio working here could pull anything like this off. My God, the lieutenant leans closer, his finger tracking the maddening rhizome. It's as if the less money they had, the more ambitious their project became. The cost of air width alone must have been huge. Exactly. He nods at the calendar on the chalkboard, wiping his marker-stained fingers clean against his jacket. This schedule, I know doom when I see it. The company was running out of funding. What else? Squint at the lines. Nothing, it's just lines on marble, an echo from times long gone. No one has used this fireplace in ages. Okay. Interesting. That's some kind of door. What's this? Scribbled across a notebook. Developers of the most advanced RPG in the universe. It's so meta, dude. He wants to talk again?
Okay. What do you think is going on with that computer, chalkboard, and fireplace?
It's obvious this is what remains of Suna's radio game studio Fortress accident. Someone tried to exercise the curse using technology. Looks like an undercover counterintelligence program. It's just a failed business. The only question is, what the hell were they making? It's obvious this is what remains of Suna's radio game studio Fortress accident. Yes, I got that. The lieutenant shifts on his feet. What I meant was, what were they trying to achieve with this damn game? What are their ambitions? Because this here looks rather advanced. Conceptualization. He's right. This wasn't your grandma's game studio. This is something else. You're right. This isn't just a pen and paper role-playing game. They were trying to make it on radio computers. Precisely, he agrees. It's absolutely mad. An automated role-playing game? How were they planning to do that? Through call-in stations, he nods at the fireplace. None of the players had to be physically present. Anyone in the world can participate in the game as long as they have a two-way radio. Then there's the Game Master frequency that listens in on smaller call-in stations. I think that was supposed to coordinate the stories, functioning as a master of ceremonies of sorts. Interfacing. Coordinating so many games would take a whole switchboard of people, possibly divided into sub-frequencies. Has anyone done this before? Not to my knowledge. They make automated games in Grad, Messina, Königstein, you know, places with industry. Rhetoric. Not in Revachol West, among the ruins. But I don't think anyone has attempted to create an intersolary game before. We just don't have the technology. And this was a role-playing game? Indeed. Those Welkins are dead giveaway, he points to the chalkboard. Role-playing people love that stuff. The world looks like a modified version of the Viral board game, with heat death thrown in. Conceptualization. Super cool. Someone should give them millions of real immediately. This game is too good to be left unfinished. Wow. Wow. Indeed. It's ambitious and untethered from reality, but the lieutenant tilts his head thinking. They were saying if they thought they could do this, it was just a play to cheat money out of their investors' pockets. The curse got them. I see no other explanation. The world is cold and lonely. This would keep it company. Let's finish it. Do we have any money? Let's give them more money so we can finish it and make it even bigger. The world is cold and lonely. This would keep it company. Let's finish it. A half smile breaks out on his face. It's too late for that, I'm afraid, he says, looking around at the derelict room. The pipes howl and a rat crosses the floor. Okay, he concludes. Let's keep it moving. Okay. Do we need anything here? So what have we got in terms of... So we've got Inland Empire. We kind of need to do physical instrument, don't we? There's a lot that require physical instrument. Let's start putting shit into physical. We're gonna have to wait. Actually, gonna have to wait for the thought to finish. But when this thought finishes, because we're -1, 2 from that, we'll be +2 in physical instrument, and that might actually get us where we want to be. For at least some of these. We shall find out. All right. We're heading back to right-handed mouse usage chat. Programs. Users. Greetings, users. Alright, okay. Need some more water too. Constantly refilling the water, but I'm constantly drinking the water. So, you know, those two things seem to go together. I'm not quite sure how they're connected, but perhaps they are. Alright, what's this? Oh, it's another area. There's the giant bear! Fucking A. Oh, wow. I don't want morale, I want health. Okay. Let's do all these things first. The wall collapsed in. It's inaccessible now. An ice cream maker, defrosted and unplugged. The flashlight casts a strange shadow. There is a hidden doorway here. Oh, he just makes it in. No problem. 2 rusty rifles are hidden above the piping. They look inoperable. Interesting. A hole in the wall. A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in. It's a secret room! Where are we? Look around the secret room. It seems like an old bunker from the Revolutionary period. Look at all those rifles. He points up at the rifles under the ceiling. Must be an old weapons cache. Look, there's a hole in the wall. Shine light on the hidden compartment. There is, yes. And there also appears to be something inside the hole. Interesting. Do you want to take a look? Okay, I do. Your hand reaches deep into darkness and spiderwebs. Rummaging around, you find rusty rifles hidden away. Rifles, Kim! The lieutenant steps closer, curious. Are these any good? Inspect the rifles. Most of them are rusty and inoperable like the rest, but one catches your eye. A bolt-action model with a fine wood stock in better cosmetic order than the others. This one looks nice. Antique Belle McGrath rifle. An old Belle McGrath from the Revolution. The lieutenant notes with approval. His eyes are gleaming. Seems to no longer be functional, but still a beautiful thing in its own way. What does this mean, a rifle here? It means there are firearms, breech loaders still lying around in matinees. This would have been good in our case against Ruby for Titus. Too late for that now, but still might be useful down the road. Ah. He likes this find. So that would have been something that I could have used with Titus, but I still managed it anyway. Someone has stuck some busted guns beneath the ceiling. Busted guns. Take me home. A broken Belle McGrath from ages past. It's 4-shot bolt-action military rifle with a wooden frame. It's what's this? What is this, I ask you? Frozen ice cream maker that's still running. Give me the money. Hey, some nose are fed. Much needed. Much needed. 2 cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads off into the darkness and the black one to the ice cream maker nearby. Alright, well I don't know what I'm doing with that yet, so let's just find out why we might need that. More stuffed birds. Intercom wires running into the breaker box. Ooh, +1 drama. Alright, let's go back to the bear and the furnace and see what we're doing here. Okay, look, okay, yeah, we've got blue and red. Alright, so this is probably not going to work, I take it. Ice bear fridge. You see a terrifying ice bear with a strange compartment in its belly. The door is covered in frost and the bear's eyes are glowing red. Visual calculus. The bear looks oddly realistic. Is it taxidermy? Reaction speed. This must be the giant ice bear fridge that Suna mentioned. Look inside. Crack open the door. A gust of freezing cold air rushes to greet you. You hear a low grumble as the bear regulates itself. This is the inside of a refrigerator. The lieutenant takes a peek inside. His hand has found the holster of his gun. Relax, Kim. It's a fridge. Of course. Just a giant ice bear shaped fridge. He relaxes his hand, his face bathed in the harsh light of the open fridge door. Let's take a look inside. Look inside the refrigerator. The shelves are empty. All you see are crumpled ice cream wrappers with the brand name Revachol Ice City. A handwritten note has been attached to the door. The fridge is huge. Reaction speed. But where's the filament memory? It's not here. Hey, I can't see the off-site copy anywhere. Check the shelves again. Someone must have taken it. What does the note say? Take the note from the door. You pocket the note and the little fridge magnets keeping it on the door. Examine one of the ice cream wrappers in there. A friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you from a glossy cellophane wrapper. It looks nothing like the fridge. Smell. The paper still smells of vanilla and chocolate. What is a giant bear-shaped fridge doing in an abandoned cellar in the first place? A good question. It looks like an ice cream fridge. The lieutenant reaches for one of the wrappers. He studies it in the light. Shivers. Somewhere in the past, it's summer. 5-year-old Fifette lets go of her mother's hand, change jingling in her pockets as she hops towards the ice cream stand right across the plaza. Shake from the sudden cold sensation. As she makes her way to the market stall, the girl starts crying. A ferocious ice bear is guarding the fridge, its paws raised to ward off any potential customers. Her mother rushes to soothe her, but Fifette doesn't want ice cream anymore. She just wants to go home. The ice bear stares at them as they leave the plaza. A gust of wind flies one of the wrappers right past the sobbing girl. So they tried to sell ice cream from this hyper-carnivore. "Ah no," says the lieutenant. "What an unfortunate marketing choice." "What is even worse, the bear is still costing them money to this day." The lieutenant points at the red snaky cable running from the fridge. The fridge buzzes with energy. The electricity bill on this thing must be catastrophic. Okay. What's this then? Central furnace. A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, colouring it pitch black. Kim, what is this thing? Is it a furnace? Looks like it. Looks like an old central furnace used to heat the building. It's connected to the chimney. He opens the door and gingerly peeks inside. No one has used it in ages. No signs of any recent fire, only dead rats. Look inside the furnace. It's dark and grimy here. In the darkness you can hear chatter. It's coming from above. A voice or several voices talking to each other near the smoke chamber upstairs. Hearing. The echo is so prominent it's impossible to discern what the voices are saying or what's producing them. "What are you doing?" the lieutenant asks when he sees you climb halfway inside the furnace. "I hear the murderer of the hanged man talking. I'm not sure, Kim, but I think I can hear someone talking upstairs." "Wait, really?" He looks up at the ceiling. "We should investigate, see if someone's upstairs." Smear your hands with the coal. A lush layer of coal now covers your skin, sinking into the wrinkles. Your hands look ancient. Conceptualization. Maybe you could paint something with this coal. Leave a cave painting for future archaeologists. No, that would be stupid. Those voices I heard, maybe it's the malignant entity? Pleasant said it lives in a chimney. You're right, the rooms do look like they're connected, but malignant entities don't exist, at least not the supernatural kind. Rhetoric always has to be the skeptic, this man. Physical instrument again. Kick it with your foot. Oh, for fuck's sake. Just when I get some nose-a-fed. Okay, it's up to 58%. Let's leave. Let's put physical instrument stuff on. That's physical instrument. Looking for physical instrument. It'd be much better if that bloody thing had finished. That thought. It'd give me another +2 physical instrument. Really? No more physical instruments? Boo! Boo! I've got to read those notes. Handwritten note from the fridge. The note is written with a blue pencil on a piece of lined office paper. The kitchen magnets have left spots on its surface. Does it say anything interesting? The lieutenant leans closer to read the crumpled note over your shoulder. Esprit de corps. This is tangential at best, but the lieutenant's detective instinct is still active. Read the note. Someone has scribbled, "S. I can't believe the offside copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio, so I had to hide it somewhere safe. You'll find the filament memory with the offsite copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home ASAP. It's important. I'd do it myself if I lived in a civilized place with a freezer. Take care. Sulislaw." Someone has moved the filament. But who? Sulislaw. Sulislaw. Wasn't it one of Miss Lukanin Kilda's co-workers? He tilts his head. I remember coming across his name when we were reading the personnel log. Her personal log. Remind me again, what's a filament memory? It belongs inside a radio computer storing its memory. It's like a tape. You listen to disco tapes, right? It's like one of your disco tapes, only for a computer. Interfacing. It's like the production schedule you found, only this one's an offside copy. Who's the illiterate ginger kid? Really? The lieutenant looks at you. The corner of his mouth curved into a smug grin. You don't have a single guess? You mean Kuno? Oh, I'm sure that child would love to get his hands on a filament memory, even if he doesn't know what to do with it. He'd probably try to pawn it for speed, based on our encounter. Do you have any idea where the frozen ice cream maker could be? Could be the one we looked at already? I don't know. I assume it's somewhere close to the ice bear fridge. Didn't you see one right next to the breaker box? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. You're right. You're right. Yell hello into the furnace. 72%. Let's try. Yeah, that's definitely a yell. Something breaks loose in you. A mighty bellow echoes throughout the chimney's depths. The chatter of tiny voices above suddenly cease. Then you hear a woman's voice answer. Hello, are you there? Speak to me. There's a pause. Hearing, you hear a low rumble upstairs, the sound of a curtain being pulled aside. Lieutenant nods, then points upstairs after you, officer. Well, not just yet, Kim. We've got shit to do, bro. What's this? Help sooner. Find the isochromic. Yeah, okay. What's right here? Oh, okay. This orange machine is buzzing on. But before it gave me like wires. Turn the ice cream crank. Turning the crank feels oddly satisfying, like stirring your childhood dreams. In the distance you hear water dripping. Crack open the lid. Better grip with gloves. But shouldn't this be helping? Why is everything suddenly physical instrument? Oh right, so hang on. I could probably, let's see, what wires are the blue? It was this that changed the wires, right. Unplug the giant red cable. An electric sizzle, the room is slightly quieter now. What if I come and have a look at this? No. Unplug the giant black cable. Something close to you dies with a soft electric plur. Very smart. Opening the lid should be much easier after the ice cream maker has defrosted. Ah, after it has defrosted. Machine unplugged is +2. We'll have to come back to this. Maybe if I leave a bit, it will be defrosted. Alright, we've got stairs here. There was... Wait a minute. Yeah, let's see what's here first. But there was, I think there was somewhere in the other room where, you know, Fortress Avalanche or whatever it was called. There was another way out there. Oh, that's back here. No. No. Yes. Okay, so that's the exit. Cool. Well, that answers that. Well, we're going to have to use our Nosafed because it's too risky to be on 1 health. You die. You die if you get hit. Okay, so there was a way through here. To level 2. Shoes in a puddle of melting snow. Does someone live here? The floorboards creak. Postcard La Delta 51. The sunlight has made this postcard almost completely sepia tone. What sunlight? It's underground here. Midtown traffic passes overhead. The ghosts of skyscrapers disappear into a beige midday mist. Vapor rising from the delta on which the district was built. The postcard is prepaid. Why is this, don't know why that's lit up. This tray is full of dice, colourful polyhedral dice, hundreds of them. The candy dispenser has been repurposed to contain thousands of dice.
Hello, I'm Nia.
A bird-like woman sits on the throne of tools with emerald light shining through her hair.
Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Melius.
She taps on her headphones.
So what kind of die are you looking for?
Visual calculus. She's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching. Hold on, what do you mean by milieu?
Yes, a milieu is like a calling station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these.
He pats the headphones on the table.
Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking.
You must have confused me with someone else. I haven't knocked on your window.
Then how did you get inside? By the south entrance? You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're finally here. Let's talk dice. Did you have something specific in mind?
Why are you asking me about dice?
I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
Encyclopedia. Role-playing games. You know the one made by Fortress Accident? Does that count? Sure, I like role-playing games and I need some dice. Maybe. I'm not really sure why I'm here, honestly. No, I was looking for something else. Squint your eyes, mysterious. Answers.
Answers? How strange. These days people only come to me for dice and role-playing games. I'm not sure how helpful I'll be, but go ahead and ask.
The walls around her are covered with rows of precious stones and minerals. Conceptualization. It almost looks as if the stones and dice are a natural part of the room, growing out of the shelves like stalagmites. I do not see any dice. Oh, okay, there's dice there. Fair enough. Drama. No falsehoods are present. She's a novelty dice maker and doesn't have anything to hide. Ask what you need. How did you become a dice maker? How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt. That was my first order. I grew it from there. Do you like playing role-playing games yourself? Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay. And role players are customers. They're nice people. Rhetoric. Some of those nice people have big bucks to spend on novelty items. Empathy. She's thankful for the security they provide her. What do you know about the man who was lynched behind the whirling in rags? Nothing really. I didn't know him. Lieutenant looks at his notebook, then the woman under the large window. Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening? I'm sorry, Detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window. What do you mean by the daily ruckus? Well, there's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard. She stops to try and come up with an example. During daytime, there are usually those kids, and lately I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because of the strike. Drama. She's heard of the murder, but did not see it, sire. She looks up at the window. Pale light comes in. But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid. You never took your eyes off the work to look out of the window. I might have, she admits, but in this case all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness. Visual calculus. It's light here, but dark in the yard at night. It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone. Do you often work Sunday nights? It's an odd profession, making dice for people, but I like it, and I prefer doing this to sitting at home. I see, thank you for your answers. She nods. Anything else, officer? Hey, where are we anyway? What is this place? Look around the room. We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know. She looks at the ruddy bricks that make up the walls. Even though they've been repainted, there are still signs of coal-black soot here and there. But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus. Creative. The lieutenant looks around the spacious room, its ceiling fading into shadows above. Reaction speed. When she arrived here, there was no room anywhere else. She must have known the other businesses. I've heard this place is cursed. Did you know that people call it the doomed commercial area? I've heard the stories, she nods as the wind howls in from the furnace shaft above, but I don't think those stories are true. Wait, how do you explain what happened to all those companies then? Pleasance is the one who sent me. She's convinced that the place is swarming with malicious energies. Pleasance, the bookshop lady? She raises her brow. I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energies spared her somehow? Pleasance is a wise woman. She has Seminoese trinkets protecting her against the curse. Actually, the bookstore isn't doing that well. There are hardly any customers and she has to exploit her own daughter to keep the company going. The curse is just biding its time before it strikes again. Sooner or later everyone will fail, even her. I don't know why the bookstore hasn't gone bankrupt yet. That's what I'm here to investigate. Actually, the bookstore isn't doing that well. Alright, but it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the Whirling in Rags? Some people say it's part of the building complex. Hold on, the Whirling is part of the Doom commercial area? Yes, but it's still a separate building. The malicious entities can't reach there. No, the Whirling isn't doing well either. This waitress just took off and customers trouble paying bills. You're right, the Whirling doesn't really look like it's cursed. Hold on, the Whirling is part of the Doomed commercial area? You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time under the East Delta Commerce Center project. Yes, but it's still a separate building. The malicious energies can't reach there. You're right, the Whirling doesn't really look like it's cursed. No, the Whirling isn't doing well either. Its waitress just took off and customers have trouble paying bills. And then there's me, she sighs, looking at her messy work table. All kinds of tools lie there scattered, from knives to carving files to wire cutters. I've been here 14 years selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million-real business idea, yet somehow I've survived despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it? Drama. Maybe it's just because she's so talented that she's been able to woo the curse. Pleasance thinks it's because you're the source of it, a malignant entity. It's because you're competent and dedicated to your craft. The curse doesn't affect people like you. The curse will get you, have no doubt about it. I'll be the first to admit there are many inconsistencies in this so-called curse. I was just about to ask. She leans forward in her chair to study her face. What do you think? Do you think the curse is real? I think it still might be you that's causing this. Narrow your eyes very mysteriously. I'm starting to see there is no curse, only business decisions and natural market fluctuations. Honestly, I'm still not sure this world is a puzzling place. I'm starting to see there is no curse. Exactly, she pinches the root of her nose. Truth is always so disappointingly mundane and boring. But I'm glad we got this sorted out. Anything else I can help you with today? Drama. That's all she has to say on the subject. She's been thorough and truthful as far as we can see. Shivers. Do you know what happened to other tenants? Everyone else is gone. More or less. She adjusts the yellow scarf that covers her hair. Are you interested in anyone specific? Oh, quite a lot of them spring to mind. Rats scuttle in the dark rooms under the abandoned blow dryers and dusty mannequins. Cobwebs cover rotors and radio computers alike. So much failure. There used to be a hair salon here, right? Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out their working class men don't like genderless haircuts. They're scared of that word. Conceptualization. A bit of experimenting every now and then isn't bad. Composure. It's not about the haircut, it's about the confidence. What's wrong with a bit of experimenting? The customers should have been more open-minded. I would never let anyone androgynous touch my hair, not even if my life depended on it. I guess I'm a simple man. I don't really have any opinions on hairstyles. What's wrong with a bit of experimenting? I guess it just wasn't the time yet. She tucks a strand of hair under her headscarf. What happened to the gym? It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemitep's Boxing Club, a community project created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime. And who was Artemitep? A kind man from Zimsk. I don't know how you meant to say that one. Zimsk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym, as his way of giving back. Maybe that's what Kuno needs, a community-centric boxing club. Kuno, her eyes narrow in the dim light. Who's Kuno? Indeed, who is Kuno? Your guess is as good as mine. Oh yes, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth. Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard. She looks out the window. It's oddly quiet there at the moment. I think it would take more than a gym to help that kid. How did that community project work out? Judging from the kids I've met so far, it didn't really work, did it? Oh well. It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines. Logic. It's not really full of that. No one would store their drugs like that. Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since. What's up with the broken windows? Oh, this one's a mess, she sighs. There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What could go wrong with this one, right? Turns out the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff milieu. Who would have guessed? Encyclopedia. What's a snuff milieu? And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own. Cool, very cool about the debris, but what's a snuff milieu? It's a sub-rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders with real victims. Some people pay good money to get off on it. Drama. Nothing changes in her tone as she says that, as if it's just another piece of information to lay out for the world. Don't worry, the ICP has a separate division that deals exclusively with unlicensed sub-rosas. The lieutenant turns to you. This isn't our problem. Good luck with that. It's not easy catching those perpetrators. Then she lets the thought go. Did someone here make stuffed animals? I saw mounts lying around. You mean Mr. Frabron, the taxidermist? No, he mostly just did drugs. Anything else? I found creepy mannequins. There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I've forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years until the insect rights activists came. Insect rights activists? What in the name of Zeus's butthole? The atelier produced a certain collection that used chitin amongst the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident where it's extracted from beetle wings. And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident? The activists shut down the biggest chitin suppliers, which of course caused the price to skyrocket. And naturally all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection. Glad that someone took care of the little guys. I like insects, nod, but insects don't have any brains or feelings. They got what they deserve. Making clothes out of beetle wings is a terrible idea. Yeah, that one. At least it had some spark to it. Most young designers just combine lace with leather and call it original. She shifts her in her simple workwear shirt. Sight. As she shifts around, you notice several dead flies on the windowsill in front of her. Legs up, they're not moving. Anything else? What's with the rotor blades and skis? They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off on vacation with all their money. She rests her chin on her hand with an impish smile. Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula or Tiomutiri or Kashtkor or wherever he is. Interesting. What do these transmissions say? The usual, I imagine, that he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans and can't wait to get started on them just as soon as he returns. Her smile widens before she sees the lieutenant's face behind you. Men like that are a curse. The lieutenant is stern. Sure, but Slipstream is history now. All the remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. Ooh, thought imminent. I have no idea why those skis and blades are still lying around in the house. Not much use now, I guess. Logic. They were just props. Why return to them? Interfacing. Maybe you could make a sword out of one. No, wait. Forget it. It would take too long. I found a strange machine. Fortress Accident, the radio game studio. She closes her eyes as some remnant of a memory lights up her face. Empathy. She liked them. They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over Wirala. Conceptualization. That's understandable. Fantasies are serious things. The mind is the drawing board of history. They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their schedules. I heard that they ran out of money. Money and time, she nods. The usual. What went wrong? Well, I did hear them talking at times. She looks at the hallway as if she can still hear them chit-chatting behind her curtains on a cigarette break. They seem to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest. She sounds almost mocking when she says that. What I've seen so far, the project did look quite impressive. Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism. You know, how the markets are rigged to keep out new businesses and so on. In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic and to show up to work on time. Well, showing up to work on time is incredibly hard. That's too bad. I would have supported them. The project looked great. You're right, they should have just tried harder. They had everything they needed to succeed. Well, showing up... No, that's too bad. I would have supported them. Not the wisest decision. You would have lost all your savings. She tosses a pair of dice on the table. One of them stops near the edge of the metallic desk. Perception. The result is 1 on a 20-sided die. Anything else? There was a terrifying taxidermied bear in the cellar. Oh boy, the fabled Revelshire Ice City. You're in for a treat here. She smiles and leans closer, hands on her knees, like a stand-up comedian ready to tell a story. The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now ask me about their other ideas. Indeed, what were their other ideas? Alright, what were their other ideas? There was really just one, and it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighbourhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth. And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing. She leans back, disapproving. Fritter does the same thing. I know a girl like that. She works in Fritter as a cashier and she's not particularly friendly. What did they expect? 20 cents per hour as dogs pay. I'm surprised they showed up to work at all. That's an award-winning idea. How else do you choose people around you? I don't have an opinion on employing teas. I just want to know to work after this. I know a girl like that. Employing sulky teenage girls is a widespread practice. Yes, unfortunately they always come in packs. I'm talking about acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the shop. At least that's what happened with Revelshire Ice City. And they already had the bear. She closes her eyes as if remembering something painful. What, it didn't work out? Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted. Eventually, Revelshire Ice City lost a price war to its rival, Glacé 5000. Glacé 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges. It's the market doing its job. I'm sure the bear was doing its best. The bear was scary. Every time I saw that bear, I felt scared, like it could come alive at any moment now. I killed the bear. You unplugged. I killed the bear. You did what? She rolls her swivel chair and is closer to you, unsure whether she heard right. I had to kill the bear to become the bear. I murdered it with my own bare hands. I laid it to rest. It's my trophy now. I unplugged the fridge to help Revelshire Ice City cut their losses. Ah, of course, they left it plugged in. Even in death, the bear is costing them money. The taxidermist who made it said it was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. He called it Megatherion. Sounds cool. Megatherion? Megatherion, nods the dice maker. A mega wild beast. What's a mega wild beast? It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life by telling you to do more drugs, mostly. I don't have a comment on drugs. Understandable, you shouldn't do them, nods the dice maker. You're a police officer after all. Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire. She seems almost sad, finishing the story. The temperature has dropped in the cover of the night. You see frost on the windows. Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps? I've been here for a long time. I found the building's intercom, but it's not working. Oh, right, she rubs her forehead. Her scarf has left a faint line on her dusty skin. I hope you didn't try to ring me. I think none of those doorbells work, including mine. I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires. Sorry about the confusion. The doorbell with the empty name card must belong to her then. So you're telling me that the doorbell with the empty name card was yours? I was wondering about the wedding in rags. Is it part of the same building complex? I saw a name East Delta Pinball on the doorbell. A strange thing happened when I tried calling a company named Slipstream SCA. Someone answered. Okay. So you're telling me that doorbell with the empty name cards was yours? That's right. I haven't even written my name there. As I said, it's quite useless right now. It doesn't work yet. I was wondering about the whirling in rags. Is it part of the same building complex? You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East Delta Commerce Center project. That explains why you can call the whirling from the intercom, albeit I doubt that anyone responds. I saw the name East Delta Pinball on the doorbell. Right, it used to be a gaming arcade. This is an ancient failure before my time. I'm not surprised, however. My advice, she raises her finger, don't base your business on a fad, hypnotism, florography, trick track, especially pinball. Agreed, the lieutenant chips in. Pinball is the worst. His disdain for pinball could not be clearer. A strange thing happened when I tried calling a company named Slipstream SCA. Someone answered. She looks like she doesn't really believe you. It can't be true. They don't work here anymore. They've been gone for years. Are you sure it was Slipstream SCA? Was it a woman? Maybe it was Plaisance from the bookstore. She said she was from Tricentennial Electrics. Tricentennial Electrics, there's a moment before she recognises the name. It used to be a major electric company 100 years ago. Are you sure it wasn't just some kids playing a prank on you? Drama. It was too real to be just a prank. Either we're dealing with a professional actress or... Composure. Whatever happened, keep your cool. It's probably better to admit that it was a harmless prank. You're right. I was probably just got made fun of. The kids these days, she shakes her head. We were just one of them and now they're terrorizing us. No solidarity. I have a few more questions about the building. Actually, I had other questions. Shivers, 42%. Okay, I'd like to order a die from you. Oh my god, of course she nodded. This is what she's here for. Tell me what you have in mind. Do you know the Viral Untethered setting? I want to die for that. Yeah, that'll do. Yes, Fortress Accident. She shakes her head lightly. It's too bad they never finished their game. The Viral Untethered die is a variation of a standard role-playing die, only instead of plants it uses motifs of ice and death. And loss, of course. Ice, death, loss sounds like you. I'm thinking something made from alligator jawbone cast in black resin. The reptile bone is as white as ice and dead as, well, death, she smiles. For 7 real, I could have it ready in 8 hours. What's a standard role-playing die? It's a icosahedron, a 24-sided die that can produce results for a 2-sided, 3-sided, 4-sided, 6-sided and 12-sided die with a single roll. Technically you can use it for many other sizes, but you may need to re-roll results. Logic. Loving it. So nifty. Why do you need to cast it in resin? Untreated bone is porous and prone to chipping. Cast it in something hard like resin though, and voila, it's perfect. It's a deal. Great. See you in 8 hours then. She takes a small notebook from her table and writes something down. Was there anything else? Why hasn't her business failed? Shivers. Let's see if we've got Shivers clothes. Yes, that's Shivers. Nice. Any more Shivers? Shivers Regal, perhaps. Oh, come on, seriously. I've just collected so much shit and no Shivers? I am outraged. Outraged. What's this? Oh, it's the date of birth generator. Boom. You were born in the year 07, in the last year of the commune of Revachol, right before it fell, in the old military hospital on the ground floor where people usually came to die during a snowstorm. The revolution had about 1 year left to go and the fires were still burning bright. There were explosions in the blizzard. This was 44 years ago. You are 44 years old. The bloating might never leave your face, but beneath it you still have some years. You still have some hope. Learning cap for logic raised to 4, -1 difficulty to all physique passives. That's awesome. That's awesome. And coincidentally, I turned 44 this year. And I am also trying to quit drinking alcohol. This game has actually affected me. So what is, I don't know what that means. So we've still got this one. Still 6 hours on fucking physical instrument insomnia. Pick up dice in 8 hours. Make sure you have some money with you. Report back to Plaisance about your findings. Alright, let's see if we can... 58%, let's try it. It's a failure. You feel nothing. If anything, it's uncomfortably warm in here. Start taking off your clothes. You need to connect. Excuse me, what are you doing? The dice maker stares at you while you start to fuss with your pants. Officer, the lieutenant exclaims sharply. The zipper, it's stuck. Is it just me or is it hot in here? I'm trying to lower my body temperature. It's part of this special technique I have. Is it just me or is it hot in here? No, I don't feel hot. We're in a derelict smokestack. If anything, it's cold in here. The zipper, it's stuck. Oh no, not the zipper. She rolls over the other end of her table with her chair, looking for something to grab from her toolbox. A tool to get the zipper open? I'm trying to lower my body temperature. And why would you do that? It's part of this special technique I have. She squints at you, a little astonished at what she's hearing. And what technique is that? You still haven't got your zipper open. Okay, hear me out. Sometimes I get these feelings. Miss, I apologize for my colleague's behavior. He's still recovering from an unusual medical episode. Officer, this isn't how mature adults deal with their feelings. Why are we back to having one long bar for morale when before we had... Oh, anyway, I don't know what's going on with that. Now you feel something. Now you feel something. The cold damp of shame washing over you. No, not like that. It's like I can feel the wind or, I don't know, the air pressure, and then the air tells me things. The air pressure told you to take your pants off in my studio. This is not going very well, is it, word-wise? No, I'm not explaining this very well. Can you please employ this special technique somewhere else? I work here and my work requires concentration. Half-naked people don't help with that. She turns away so that you can zip up your pants again. Okay, alright. Well, we're going to take a quick break. It's been actually over an hour since we started, and I need to get up and walk around, or else my ass will be too sore. Be right back. Alright, so let us continue. This game's not going to continue itself. Was there anything else to look at in this room? Nope. How much for level 2? Did I already do this area? I did, yeah. There was shit up there. Actually, we can go out via the basement. Via the basement! Oh, my aching head. What a headache I have. It's fun. It's so much fun. This defrosted? No, I wonder if a bit of time it will defrost. The ice around it is slowly melting. Physical instrument. Look, we're no point trying it now. We'll at least wait 6 hours for the thought that's giving me -2 physical instrument to pass, and then we'll, yeah, put on as much physical instrument gear as we can. We need to go talk to Pleasance. Pleasance. To get rid of this flashlight now. But we didn't need this after all. To be honest. Pleasance, it's just echoing.
And also, do buy the books. There may be teachings in them.
I talked to the entity you told me about. Her name is NIGH, and she's a lovely dice maker. A novelty dice maker. A novelty dice maker? Her eyes widen. I'll spit it out. Why does she need the dice? For some kind of sorcery? Sometimes they use ankle bones of sheep. She's not a sorceress or some malicious entity. She's a businesswoman like you. No, ma'am, I have felt her aura. She's not the one to blame for this curse. She may be involved, but I don't have a way to question the malignant entity further. She's not a sorceress or some malicious entity. She's a businesswoman like you. She looks perplexed. I don't understand. If it's not her, then where is the source of the doom? How did she explain the curse? Logic. The narrative she's built herself, it does need tearing down. Composure. She's squeezing on the pendant too tight, a drop of blood in her palm. Suggestion. Just don't say you don't have any answers yet. The uncertainty is killing her. She said there is no curse because there is too many inconsistencies. The source is the taxidermy shop because he became involved in arts darker than taxidermy and brought the void spirits down. Oh, honestly, I don't have an answer yet. There still needs to be followed. There is no. She says there is no curse because there are too many inconsistencies. The woman scoffs at you with an audible snort. Too many inconsistencies? What kind of talk is that? Good luck persuading her. Some people can rationalize anything. As I said, she's a novelty dice maker. Her business has been up and running for a long time now. Yes, because her business consists of the psychic leech that's been feeding the curse. Her botches appear on her skin. I see that you've fallen for her manipulation, detective. The investigation is over. I just hope you haven't made anything worse by going in there. Well, so much for that. She tucks the pendant away in her blouse and concludes, thank you for nothing. Please do buy some books or be on your way. Rhetoric. There was never any other way this could have gone. She's just gone too far into her own mind. Yeah. I'm sorry we had to disappoint you, ma'am. He turns to you. Can we go now? Shivers. The shop around you feels ancient suddenly, damp and saturated by the coastal air. The books are rotting. A great cold lives here. And there, too, 1,200 meters away on the urban coast, the dark shape of a church is reflected in the water, calling. Farewell for now, book peddler. So, that's that one done. Can't do that until we get more strength. That's the next day. Never found a government marked fuel audit. Okay, we can do that. We can do that next. We could also do that if we want to. Alright. We need to put it on physical instrument. That very definitely needs a bit more fucking work. Alright, thanks for nothing, assholes. Thank for nothing, assholes. Let's go tell this woman her husband's dead. Like the noob that he is. I think it's this way. It is this way. Come on, come on. So, it was apartment... Don't remember what apartment it was. 20. Number 20. That door just opens, right? Doesn't remind me which apartment it is. No. This must be level 2. It isn't just a 5-pointed star, it's an inverted white pentagram cradled in a wealth of antlers. The iconography of communism, in other words. Inspect the symbol closer. The star and antlers was developed in the 6th decade of the last century and quickly adopted by Mazov and the communards during the revolution. Even today, half a century after, the star and antlers retains its ability to evoke hope, disappointment, and fear in equal measure. Why is the star upside down? To symbolize the toppling of the old order. Also, some social democrats were already using it. What's the deal with the antlers? The wreath of antlers represents a natural crown. It was about building a society that could exist in accord with the natural world and at the same time above it. Why white? Because white is the color of peace. What does it evoke in me? Finished thought. Fucking morale. Gone. Gone is the glory. Of hope, only the scribblings of impoverished students remain in dirty hallways. Rhetoric. You are the big communism builder now. It's you or no one. Gotta remember to save this game more often. Things like that, where you don't have any choice but to lose morale. If I didn't have, you know, extra morale, that would have been it. The end of it all. No. Where's 20? Locked door. You hear someone walking around inside, rearranging the furniture. The number on the panel says 10. Where's 20 then? That just leads to the balcony. Oi, where's 20?
Give me a moment.
Cleaning lady still seems to be having difficulty breathing. I'm looking for Billy Maison. Do you know where she lives? She narrows her pale grey eyes. It's about Victor, isn't it? He's always about Victor with her. You'll find the Maisons in apartment 20 upstairs. It's one of the doors on the balcony. Right. But not the other balcony. The other balcony, which is 33. This balcony is the 20s, apparently. Wet. But was the other balcony? This leads to that pump room. Nothing there. Okay, it must be the other balcony. Well, shit. Why would all the... Oh, I don't know. The numbering system's just fucking balked. Stupid numbering system. This one maybe. And that's why that's 30. This one's 20 maybe. A weathered brown door, the number reads 20. Smells. Something smells good. Soup à l'oignon? Lieutenant motions you to go ahead and knock. Hold on, Kim. We should discuss this before we move on. What should we expect? You're right. Let's talk this through. He looks at the apartment door and lowers his voice a bit. You hear light footsteps passing by the door and some folk music playing on the radio. We have our first preliminary identification. In all likelihood, the deceased is her husband, the husband of Billy Maison. We need to confirm this as well as deliver the death notification to Billy herself. Now, delivering a death notification is never an easy task. There's a reason why it's often called the most stressful part of our job. This is why it's usually done in pairs. You got this. I'll be monitoring reactions, ready to act if necessary. Do you have any advice on how to tell her he's dead? Just don't say that you know how they feel. You don't. Good advice. What if I don't want to do this? Yes, it's hard. He stares at the front door for a moment, his face still. But there is no easy way to handle this information. It just has to happen as soon as possible. Alright, I think I'm ready. Lieutenant motions towards the door.
Hello?
Knock.
Who is it?
A voice calls out from the other side of the door. And someone turns down the radio. Is this Billy Maison's home? This is the police. Please open the door.
Police? A moment, please. Give us a moment.
You hear shuffling inside. Hearing, tidying up nervously. There's fear in her voice.
Come in, the door is open.
Let us enter and deliver the bad news. Don't run, okay? Take it slow when exploring the apartment. Be respectful. Okay. An empty pack of Red Astra cigarettes hidden under the bed. The same brand of cigarettes you found in the trash next to the deceased. Packages of humanitarian aid macaronis. What can I see in here? Let's do that. That doesn't do shit. As expected. Windows covered in old newspaper clippings. Can't they afford curtains? A chalk-drawn height chart for children's growth over the years. A textbook for high school, mathematics, trigonometry mostly. Clock is ticking away with an odd cheerfulness. Posters of contemporary pop stars adorn the walls. Alright, let's chat.
Hello, I'm Billy. Would you like something to drink? Tea, lemonade? We're out of coffee. I was supposed to get some tomorrow.
She asked nervously. Lieutenant has taken off his foggy glasses and is busy cleaning them in his handkerchief for now. You're on your own here. Empathy. He must feel vulnerable without his glasses. Is this why he's letting you take the lead? Thanks, but I'm alright. Is this about Victor, my husband? Is he in some kind of trouble again? I can come pick him up in the station if that's what. She stops, her eyes trying to read answers from your face. Composure. Keep it together. You don't want your body language to tell her the news. Sorry, I'm rambling. She shakes her head and tries to laugh it off. It's just that Victor often gets into all kinds of trouble. So how can I help you? Rhetoric. How about some small talk before you break the news? Okay. You live here with Victor, your husband, right? It's me, Victor, and the kids here, she nods. We have 2 daughters, Jenny and Jolly. How old are your daughters? Jolly is 16 and Jenny is turning 18 next month. Look around and see, where is everyone? I don't see anyone home. The girls are staying at their friend's place tonight and Victor is out. She swallows visibly. Out where? He has a problem with drinking and so he disappears every now and then. He's probably in the pox drinking with his friends. I sent him to the library a few days ago, but I guess something came up. She smiles sourly. To your knowledge, did he make it to the library? No, I guess I'll find out when he decides to come back home. She looks at the front door. It shouldn't be long from now. He's never gone for more than a few days. What was the name of the library? Oh, it's in Jamrock. It's the one at Moreau Street. I don't know the official name. Central Jamrock Public Library? I think yes, if that's the one on Moreau. It is. What was he supposed to do in the library? Just to return a book of mine. Why? She looks at you quizzically. Why all those questions, detective? Did he do something? Break something? It's a fool's hope. Was it The Glinting Curve? What was the name of the book? I think it was Thibault's The Glinting Curve. She tucks a strand of hair behind her ear. It was pretty good. Do you remember what he was wearing when you last saw him? His old leather jacket. Can you describe it? It's just your average brown leather jacket, but he bought it as a teenager, so... No distinctive features? No, well, she stopped. The lining is hand sewn. It's blue. I tried to make the thing more weatherproof since he's running around with it in the middle of winter. There's something else I have to tell you. She folds her hands across her chest. Here it comes. 92%. Tell her about the dead body. I've finally done it for 92%. You've done this before. Just keep your focus. God, do I just say he's dead like that? Ma'am, I'm very sorry to say, but your husband Victor Méjean was found dead on the Martinez boardwalk. She blinks. What did you say? A great and terrible spike. The blood freezes in her veins. Your husband Victor Méjean is dead. I'm very sorry for your loss, ma'am. Oh, she touches her neck, eyes pale like pearls in seawater. Oh, she says again, but he was just... She looks at the kitchen table where 2 cigarette butts are still in the tray. But he was just here, alive. We understand this comes as a huge shock. I want you to know that me and my partner, he points at you, are here for you if you have any questions. Take your time, ma'am. What happened to him? She turns to you. Her neck and cheeks are covered with red blotches. Her double chin is shaking. It's too early to say, but at first glance he seems like he slipped and hit his head. It was an accident. He fell through a hole in the boardwalk and hit his head. Was he drunk? We don't know yet. Alcohol may have played a role, yes. We don't know yet, but we will let you know when the results arrive. Oh, let's go for that one. I see, she withdraws, trying to picture the scene. And you just found him there, lying in the cold? How long had he been there? If you say 2 days maybe, it will be etched in her mind forever. It couldn't have been long. She blinks, eyes welling up with tears as her hands start searching for something from the pockets of her dress. The handkerchief. No words, just give her the lieutenant's handkerchief. A small terrified smile quivers on her face as she takes the handkerchief and wipes away the tears. She looks disoriented. Is there anyone we could call for you? A friend? A family member? Someone who could be here for you? No, she breathes in. I just need to tell my girls. The air gets sucked out of her lungs suddenly. It burns like acid. Unreal. God, should I call them? Should I tell them to come home? No, a day. No, take a day to recover. You'll be better prepared when they come home tomorrow. Good, that's probably the right thing, thank you. She nods, but with a wretched expression. Just tell me, what do I need to do next? Where is he? Can I see him? We've taken him to the city morgue. The local coroner will be contacting you shortly to arrange the funeral. Here is his number in case you want to contact him earlier. Drama. A very good call. He hands you a leaflet with the morgue's contact information. Is there anything else that the ICM could do for you? No, I'll call you if something comes up. I'm still... She rubs her face, runs her fingers over her cheeks that have become numb. Thank you, she looks down. Thank you for telling me. I'll call if... She runs out of breath. Again, I'm very sorry, ma'am. Lieutenant nods at the woman that looks back at you, his voice lowered. We should step outside and talk. Set the library card by her. Leave the room. Oh, how sad. Tim, let's chat.
You did well.
Lieutenant says as soon as you've left the apartment. The balcony feels cool and quiet with a stunning view over the district. Nod. What now? I'll call the station tomorrow and let them know the name of the deceased. What about Billy and her kids? They'll manage. That's it? That's it. We should get back to our case now that our duty here is done. Right, this is closed then. He nods. Let's go. Shivers. You look south over the crumbling balustrade. There, 1.2 kilometers away, a piece of broken stone cuts into the sky. A tomb. On it, a mural that used to say, tomorrow is just a whisper away. You cannot really see the Feld building from here, but somehow you feel like you should return to it. This Feld bullshit. God damn. Oh, damn, I get it. I meant to go back to the thing. Alright, what have we got? Can't do that. That's tomorrow. Don't know what that is. That needs to be after I get the thing to give to Suna. Can't, for some reason, I can't get to the island, and the boardwalk doesn't seem to want to tell me where the bullet traces are. Actually, I did look at the VOD, and it did seem to suggest here somewhere. It was like here, on top of here maybe. I don't know if they're way up there. And yeah. That would be a possibility. Meow, right there. Meow. Okay. That probably where Ruby's hiding then. And that's where the board is as well. So look for Ruby on the coast. Yep, all of that is time. So let's go back to the board. See what it has to say for itself. Although it's going to need another I don't even remember what check. Let's go. Ticking everything off. There can't be that much more of this game, can there? Hello, Mladen. I'm sorry if I've mispronounced your name. Which is Laden? Thank you for dropping by. How's your day going? Where are we headed here? We need to go down here and then along the path where the cars go, otherwise known as a road. You know, path where the cars go. Here we go. That's where we want to go. And then across here. And then down here. And then this way somewhere. Am I supposed to check the traps again? What happened with that? It just sort of ended. Purposeful locusts, but they seem to be weak and unhealthy. A few lie on their backs with their legs twitching, still no phasmid. Poor things. Okay. Well, when I see a trap, I might look at them, so that has sort of moved on. Honestly don't remember where... Oh, actually pretty much, there's 4 of them. What? Oh, up here. Around here. Let's zoom out a bit so that we know where we're going. Another trap, sort of, there was the camp, and then another trap not far from the camp, and then there's one up near the radio tower. We need need to be up over here. Is it this way? It is. Actually, let's go check the traps first, huh? That one. Few locusts trudge along the wall of the trap. The rest are piled in a heap in the corner dead. No phasmid anywhere. Poor things. Ah, the poor locusts. Left to rot. Trap is filled with dead and dying locusts. Most of them aren't moving anymore. You still can't see a phasmid anywhere. Poor things. I think I must need to get on the top of this building. The Feld Electric building. Oh, the dude... Hang on. They were there when I walked past before, weren't they? It must be that I can get through here eventually. Feld Electric. Listen to the wind again. Found the empty trap, heard Lena's true story, reconstructed execution, confronted the pigs, death notification, found the jacket. Boom. Suddenly there's a sigh carried on the molecules around you, moving, flowing from high pressure to low pressure like that of a woman emptying her lungs. She wraps the collapsing stone box in front of you in her breath flowing through it. Where does it go? In through the collapsed roof, flowing down a concrete staircase to the basement, sweeping away footprints in the dust on the stairs, and then the beach below the boardwalk, its winding tunnels a whisper away. What is happening? She's down there. Say, I think she's down there below this building. Okay, why? We've looked everywhere else. Right, he shrugs. How do we get in there? The doors are on the collapsed side of this building. They're gone, basically. Finally, my time to shine. There's a ladder next to the sign. Point to it. Perhaps we can climb it, enter through the roof. Perhaps you can climb them. We're not climbing anything. I'm 43 years old and I plan to see 70. Ah, there's a ladder there. Climb the ladder or find another way onto the roof. Let's wait, hang on. You know what? This seems like a very good opportunity to flex our save muscle. The rusty ladder leads to the rooftop. Some of the rungs are missing. Yes, that does not look good at all. Assess the situation. The distances between the remaining rungs are rather wide. You'd have to use the mounting brackets. However, they seem corroded and the peeling rust is razor sharp. In addition, the first rung is going to be tough to reach. It's what, 3 meters above the ground and you're 180? 180 seems about right. Not to mention that the roof is collapsing and the wind gets pretty brutal up there. Dismounting from the ladder is going to be hard. Perhaps if you were to not climb the ladder, instead, savoir faire. What if you were to do something more subtle? Conceptualization. What if you were to reconceptualizing climbing the ladder? What if I don't climb? What if I just teleport? Lieutenant stares at you stone-faced. Teleportation is not a thing. Come on, Kim, where's your adventurous spirit? This really has nothing to do with adventure. We're dealing with basic physics here. It won't hurt to try. Oh yes, it could hurt a lot. Teleport to the roof. Sortiego climbing. Let's try. 97%. I mean, almost capable. If anyone's capable of failing at 97%, it's me. Let's go. It's a success. Savoir faire. All you need to do is close your eyes and concentrate. Darkness enfolds you. You can feel the distance between the bench and the first rung of the ladder. All you need to do is do it. Zoot, zap, pow, crinkle. It's like magic. You feel yourself disappear. Your atoms fading out of existence. Okay, well, that's impressive, but... Bam, you find yourself on the roof, having mastered the art of physical displacement. Don't gloat, just stand there like a Samaran master. You know, for the record, you didn't teleport there, you just climbed the ladder with your eyes closed. Hearing. The wind at the top of the building starts howling loudly, blowing away the lieutenant's voice. Faintly you hear, "Never mind, find a way to get me in when you're inside. Don't go adventuring without backup, especially if we think the suspect may be hiding here." Alright, we have access to the roof. The central support beam has been destroyed by artillery fire. What am I actually doing here? Why have I got into the building and let Kim in too? And surely this is where I can look to see... Is this not the boardwalk vantage point? I guess not. Why? Where's the boardwalk vantage point? Alright. New building. Who dis? The glass is covered with grime and dust you can barely see out. Postcard Martinez 98. Faded picture postcard from the end of the last century shows Martinez as was before the revolution. It's the height of summer, Rue de Saint-Ghislain is teeming with parasol-wielding bourgeoisie and Wild Pine's flags buttress the walkway. Nothing is written on the back. Interesting. Terribly interesting. You should take out your flashlight. Well, okay, but not because you told me to, but because, well, you told me to. Was that just the way back up? I guess it is. This collapse nearly sealed the basement. One can barely squeeze by. Antiquated office furniture, last century maybe. This overturned table is covered in orange mildew, crawling with something that we can't read. Crawling with something ellipsis. Old file folders in the cart, documents silvery with mould. Series of thick, dusty panes of glass. This isn't just glass, these are old computation components. These are computer components? Yes, filament memories from the time when wires were cast in glass, slides with an inlaid nervous system. How'd they do that and why? The how was a closely guarded secret, something that was locked in safes and human heads across the river where they were manufactured. As to why, your fingers don't know. Encyclopedia. The why is easy because they hadn't come up with modern silicon-based systems yet. For vitreous cast filament memories, though, these seem incredibly advanced. Okay. +1 suggestion. Oh, here's Kim. Hello, Kim. 2 rusty metal plates that slide apart form a crude door. It's been here under the boardwalk for a while. Who's there? What do you mean, who's there? It's me, Kim. Stop playing around and help me get this door open. Push the doors open. Get in here, Kim. The doors seem to be on rails, but they've gotten jammed. You grab a side and put some strength into prying it open. With the help of your partner, the 2 metal panels slide open with a creak. Huh, I hope no one dangerous heard that. How did you even get there? After you climbed up to the roof, you mean? There's a maintenance entrance under the boardwalk. It's next to the drain pipe, possibly a storm drain. It was easy to miss before. He's quite proud of himself. At least we know a quick way in and out. Yes, we have an exit, so let's get going. Time to investigate these passengers. He peers into the darkness. Okay, alright. The other way out. To the roof. In the beam of a flashlight, a crevice in the wall. What have we here? These pots and plates are full of dust and spider webs. Stale fabric smell and dust. No one slept here in months, maybe even years. Revolutionary propaganda on the bunk bed, ancient flyers and brochures. Same slit window you saw from the outside. What's this? Visual calculus. Could this have been the killer's hideout and this narrow window the point of origin of the shot that killed the mercenary? Hand-eye coordinator. This does look like an embrasure, a slit made for shooting out of. Peek out. The lights of Martinez shine coolly in the clear light. Turn to Kim. Could the killer have used this as a hideout? It's a great place to hide, and Mazovianism and murder are certainly not mutually exclusive, but there hasn't been anyone here in ages. Kim, I can't see the whirling in rags. The shot didn't come from here. Conclude. Ah, so this was the boardwalk one. Fucking hell. Indeed, no one could get a clear view. Well, at least we've been thorough. I like thorough. In fact, I think we're done with this bunker. He looks to the exit. After you, officer. Krasmazov portrait. A mustachioed and mutton-chopped man, amateurishly depicted, gazes at you with sad eyes. A plaque reads, K. Mazov. There is a spider web in the lower left corner of the portrait. Brush the dust off the portrait. Years' worth of dust is shaken off. The full head of hair, matched by an ample moustache and sideburns, looks a bit silly. Shivers. Someone crouches, heels digging into wet sand. Hands sweep across the sand, grains sticking to the frayed skin of fingertips. An old man sits on a slab of concrete and taps his fingers against the glass of a scope. You shudder. Look, Kim, it's Comrade Mazov. Yes, I can see that. Looks like some communists were hiding out here. They left a long time ago. Rhetoric. The lieutenant does not seem to share your enthusiasm. A long time ago? How long? Half a century. This was probably part of the network of defense posts the communards built against the amphibious landing. He looks around. I think the purpose of this bunker was to produce propaganda. It would have had a radio equipment back then, but that's all been looted. What's with all these secret weapon cases and secret bunkers? We have found a lot of those lately. I guess what most people think of as history tends to linger in run-down neighborhoods. Martinez being what it is, no one has gone through the trouble of cleaning out the old bunkers. Savoir-faire. A good hiding place for someone who's up to no good. Maybe I should move in here. Seems cozy. I won't stand in your way, but only after we're through with the case. Could it be connected to the Mazov bust we found in the students' room? Millions of depictions of Mazov have been produced. They're not all connected. Besides, that looked like some student. The youth always go for this kind of stuff. Could someone have stopped through here recently? He looks at the dust. You mean like Ruby? No, I think we've stumbled on a piece of history. Right, and what's over here? +1 to Mazovian socioeconomics. Wow. Wow. Yay, God, I looked for that for fucking hours. You're telling me it was just something that was in here all along? Alright. I wonder if I should be... Fuck it. Fuck it. You know, I guess while you're talking to things, having as high as on every fucking thing that you can is probably good, but trying to figure out which fucking hats and things, no, not gonna do it. There's something in the air, an unnatural buzzing. Boot prints in the sand. One of the soles appears more worn than the other. Now let's go left first. The tunnel collapsed. You'll have to find another way around. Getting louder, the buzzing sound. Pain threshold. There it is again, like a swarm of hornets buzzing under your scalp. A strange tingling you can almost smell. Lieutenant, do you feel something? No, what do you mean? A pain, a strange tingling. I don't feel it, but he looks ahead beyond the arch. We should still be careful. There were footprints back there, and I'm pretty sure they were fresh. I saw them too, footprints with the right sole worn smooth. Looks like our suspect. If she's in here, we need to plan our next step carefully. What do you mean? He lowers his voice. Once we detain a credible suspect, who knows what the Union and the Wild Pines will do? We'll set in motion events we have no control over. Logic. You will upset the balance of power in Martinez. The deadlock between the company and the Union will destabilize. Interfacing. This part of town is a fine clockwork puzzle. Disturb its peace and it will start breaking down uncontrollably. We found out Everett's plan to take the harbour. Maybe we should tell Joyce about it. I suddenly remembered we were running the serial number on the victim's armour. We've checked the boy with Clash's documents. I want to hear her take on why it was empty before. How bad do you think things could get? We found out Everett's plan to take the harbour. Maybe we should tell Joyce about it? I'll leave that to your judgment. You already know what to think about cross-pollinating information like this. It's dangerous, but... Rhetoric. He just can't be sure. Maybe it will yield something useful. I suddenly remembered. We were running the serial number on the victim's armor. You think we should finish running it now? He whispers. Maybe you're right. It might not be as useful later. Logic. It's a minor point. Don't worry too much about this. There are bigger fish. Ah, so this feels like it's giving me a bunch of options to not continue, that I need to do these other things first. We've checked the boy with Klaja's document. I want to hear her take on why it was empty before. Okay, why not? Whatever goes down might also affect her. The Union is watching her closely now. Savoir faire. Not closely enough, you suspect, but still, good idea to visit her once more. How bad do you think things could get? Well, we're not responsible for what we can't predict, are we? I don't think the entire city will be razed to the ground. He smiles in the dark. Logic. If you can't predict it, there's nothing you could have done. Alright, here's what needs to happen here. I need a notepad. We need to talk to Joyce, because for whatever reason these aren't in the actual quest log. Running victim's armor. Talk to Klaze. Okay. Okay. What do you think is waiting us for there? Conclude. I think I see a cavern, the lieutenant whispers with confidence. Maybe more cellars? I think we've been careful enough. We still have the element of surprise. Savoir faire. I wouldn't be so sure. You haven't exactly been sneaking. Or maybe not. He puts his hand to his holster. Either way, once we go deeper, there will be no turning back. So this is telling me that this is basically the end game, and enter the cavern below the fell building when you're ready. Note, Union and cryptozoology business might end when you do. Okay, well that means we have to get out of here. We've got all these other things that we've been doing for fucking 80 hours. We need to come back. We have to go back. We have to go back. Alright, so we need to go look at the last trap. We never made it to that little island, so that must be on its way too. So that's under there. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. We can probably put the torch away for now. We never finished the fucking nightclub. But what are we waiting on that? Oh, we're waiting for the thing to defrost. It's nearly 9 o'clock, so we'll be able to start the next day. That's what we need to do. That's exactly what we need to do. We need to sleep, come back tomorrow, and then we can... There's a bunch of things. We can find out about the armor, ring back that. We were waiting on the die. Just dead and dying locusts and the slow swaying of surrounding reeds. Poor things. So I've now checked all the traps. Was there another one somewhere? Don't remember whether there was another one. There's all of these to try and do as well. Wonder if you can do them after the game, the main story's finished or whatever. Who knows? I am extremely confused. Was there a trap around here somewhere? I don't think so. There's a trap here that we did. There was only ever 4 traps. Wait, was it 4 traps plus the... Where was the other trap? Have I got anything in here about the cryptozoologist? I don't. But, hang on a second. No. Inspect the traps. Near the boathouses, west of the field. Yeah. That one. Land's End. That's where I am right now. Did that one. Yeah, there's only 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it was empty. So I've checked all 4. And then it's all 4 things. Okay. Maybe we need to come back tomorrow, another day as well. Alright, we've got shit to do. It's still not 9 o'clock though, so we can't go to sleep. Bit annoying. So let's go talk to... Joyce. Who is over here somewhere. Same address the lead programmer of Fortress Accident was looking for. Yeah, we already know that. We do already know that. Thank you for information that I've already figured out. Alright, Joyce, I need to tell you Everart's planning something. Hopefully this will get us to 9 o'clock.
What can I help you with?
I've been dealing with Everard again? Ma'am, this whole thing is a takeover. A takeover? Yes, it's not a strike. You aren't being let in because there's nothing to negotiate. The union is taking the terminal. He's told me so in his own words. He's taking it. He'll also use the drug trade to finance the harbour. Taking it, she looks towards the colourful mountains of crates like toy blocks rising above Martinez. Sight, green livery changing into red, blot by blot. Conceptualization, like a cancer of the blood, metastasizing. Then we're talking about a war. Everett needs to let me into the harbour at once. We need to talk about this. He's ready for a war. They all are. The war is their goal. I told you before, Everett has always wanted this to escalate. I can ask him to let you in. The war is their goal. An insane goal. Her eyes return to you. Krenel has 1,000 men on their payroll. The next batch will be a platoon of 20 men in a gunship. The one after that, 100. I've seen the Union forces. They're better organized than these mercenaries. They also have the support of the people of Riverside West. It will take more than Krenel to wipe them out. Wild Pines will need to send more and better equipped men. Make no mistake, ma'am. I'm sure you have the money. The question is how many years and how many lives are you willing to sacrifice? What do you suggest I do? First, will this affect your decision-making process? It's not the RCM's job to make these decisions. The workers should have the harbour. Cut off the snake's head. Everett's pushing all this. It's a bluff, call it. Have them open fire and see how long they last. Bring in everything you have and wipe them from the face of the earth. Look at your wrist. It's apocalypse o'clock. Time to commence the gloaming. I wish there was a disco option. I wish there was a disco option. I'm afraid we won't disco our way out of this one, she says with considerable regret. Look at your resist. It's apocalypse o'clock. Time to commence the gloaming. Lieutenant looks at his own watch and sighs. Maybe so, detective, but that doesn't mean we're not obliged to try and stop it. He's right. There will be slow, simmering, hideous civil war. The beginnings of a failed state. No apocalyptic rapture, just ugliness. So what are you going to do? What will I do? She says, slowly looking around. Composure. Her arms fall to her sides. Her spine relaxes. The wind blows, waves crash in the distance. She crosses her arms and asks, did I ever tell you how they discovered this isola during our reality lowdown? You said you would, one day. She nods. It may be the only break we've ever caught as a species, the last one for 400 years. Why? The nations who colonized this isola calls theirs Mundi, the world. It was all they knew, all they thought would be. That there would be something more was a gamble, akin to another world or life after death. The Pale was thought to be impregnable, perpetual. She points northwest. Arian la Navigateur, the Queen of Suresne, sent 8 expeditions, one after the other, into the mass at the edge of the world. 5 of the crews did not return. 2 did, but had lost their minds. Rhetoric. Each of those expeditions would have been led by an admiral. Sounds like a purge. She was purging her political rivals. Sounds political. She nods. There was no precedence for such an undertaking. People thought she was punishing the admirals, or had gone mad, or both. Until after years of trial and error and the development of a strict psychological regime imitating the creation process of poetry, called Volta do Mar, or Return from the Sea, the 8th expedition returned, sane and intact. They told of a new continent of matter. They told the Queen and her counsellor, Dolores Day, that the Pale had begun to condense day after day, hour after hour, minute after minute, slowly raining down until it formed a vast ocean. Smell. The air is cold and scented with petrichor. There are rain circles on water all around. Humidity crawls up your back like a piano trill. Put your hand in the rain. So does the lieutenant. His mouth is slightly open as he looks to the sky. The droplets feel warm like spring rain. This ocean? She nods. The phenomenon has never again been encountered. For a time the crew thought they were experiencing a hallucination. The mast hand proclaimed, Lance Ulind, the signal to wake up. But they could not. They were sane and conscious as islands began to appear on the horizon. There are 78,000 uninhabited islands on the insular Indian archipelago, officer. The freckled face of God, she smiles. You've thought it 1,000,000 times. After life, death. After death, life again. After the world, the pale. After the pale, the world again. A total shift, she nods, in human comprehension of reality. On the second day, a great skewer was shot down above the flagship Lysergique. The bird was preserved and brought back, along with pollen. 4 years later, the Queen's Counsellor was proclaimed Her Innocence Dolores Day, the elected world spirit. The age of humanism, internationalism, and parliamentary rule followed. We were high. Leaving us here, the great skewer was the first bird they saw, and this was the last break we got. It's raining. It's raining. It is, she pulls the hood over her head. Soon it will be spring and everything will blossom. The gangs will run wild, the lieutenant keeps his hand in the rain. Jacking motor carriages, ferrying amphetamine through Coal City, spring is tough in Rover. Leaving us here. On Caillou, she studies her reaction. The Pebble, the largest of the fertile uninhabited islands of the northeast insular Indian archipelago, 4 centuries and 2 revolutions later. The great skewer was the first bird they saw. The first living autonomous organism, proof of reality, is the symbol of Insulinde detective, the coat of arms of the suzerain, and the wings of the crest of the commune. I seem to have it in for it, or it for me. I broke one. In your defence, it is a nasty creature who plucks food from the throats of lesser birds. Yet much like Revachol, it is also magnificent and rare. Imagine the suzerain of seagulls. And this was the last break we got? The nations of Mundi proceeded to discover 5 more isolae, or they discovered us, all in the rush of the great intersolary reconnection. But these others weren't uninhabited. We had to kill people there, wipe out indigenous populations, gunboat economies. Or they came to do the same for us, or had done to each other. But here, she spreads her arms. There was no one but the skewer, the Liliaceae, and the blood beach and the river Esperance. It was the new world. The Mondials used it to amass a great concentration of wealth, the greatest concentration of wealth mankind has ever seen, Revachol the suzerain. What happened? Look around. Revolution, poverty, and the mercurial rise of capitalism, she nods. What will you do? I will surrender Terminal B to the Union. Is that within your means? She puts her hand in the rain. She's silent for a second. We will see. Ma'am, this may well unravel property law this side of the river. If that occurs, we may never see the end of this kind of confrontation. The next time there will be 2 strikes. He looks towards the harbour. Then 4. Then 100. What happens will happen. She takes the end of her rain-slick hand and starts untying the knot. The age of capital has only begun. I will talk to my employers in person. We will amputate and cauterize Martinez if you handle the situation on the ground. We? She generally avoids that term with her employers. Red check, you're going now? Yes, Mr. Clare has a 2-month head start. I can't let it grow any bigger, and I've exhausted all my options from here. We? She generally avoids that term with her employers. There are no employers. She's a member of the board, probably a partner. You are the wild pines. There are no employers. She turns to you, rope in hand. You are the citizens' militia. There are no superiors. I am. Nod. You're wrong, detective, and next time you should confer with those superiors before you go setting events in motion. Empathy. Despite his words, he's not really sure whether to be annoyed with you or not. Logic. Events are already in motion, whether your actions accelerated or momentarily retarded their progress. Even the lieutenant cannot really say. Even after all this time, I still don't really understand who you are or what your angle is. I answer for my own actions. I don't hide behind some faceless organisation. Yeah, that one. Here I am the face, and I'm here to answer. Rejoice, Leighton. Understood.
Keep the peace, and I will keep my end of the bargain.
How
Continue.
far along is Purnell's investigation?
A confrontation is imminent. They have followed in your footsteps. As your investigation reaches a climax, so does theirs. They are your shadow. Arm yourselves. Armor yourselves. Protect their targets. Violence may be unavoidable, but we can limit the casualties.
When will they make their move? Where?
Soon. I do not know precisely. They have cut off all communication, you see. They know I've been feeding you information. One last thing, Lieutenant Dubois. I've given the matter much thought and come to this conclusion. You're not an amnesiac. You're insane.
Yeah, I would agree.
I know, because I too am insane. I just hide my illness better. And I'm rich.
Isn't everybody a little
No,
insane?
detective. No one's as insane as you.
Fair enough.
Don't worry, madame. I am very sane.
You're
I'm
over-radiated?
overexposed, baby. My travels take me through the pale dozens of times a year. I've got the longing, and I've got it bad.
He points to her heart. She would die to return to it. The pale, the past, anything one can return to. How do you keep your shit together?
The same strict psychological regimen the 8th Admiral developed when he crossed the Pale and discovered this isola, the Volta de Mar. It's used by inter-isolary travelers and other troubled souls even to this day.
Goodbye, Joyce L. Messier. Goodbye, Rejoice Layton. Goodbye, neither creature of the Forbidden Swamp. Goodbye, neither creature of the Forbidden Swamp.
Watch out for yourselves. They will strike soon.
Find solution to the deadlock. Secret task. Lieutenant watches her boat grow smaller on the bay, its white sails fluttering. Logic, you wonder what Everard has to say about this. Sight, slowly the sails turn a grey-blue as more oxygen gets between you. Still not fucking 9 o'clock. What's happened here? Oh, we got a new one, the Insulindian Miracle. You were reminded of a poem somewhere deep inside you, the translation of which you don't remember. Nulla sarà cambiata della luce, it begins. Colori come grigo e marrone, tutti stampati uno sull'altro. I don't need to read all of that. You were reminded of it when you heard about the discovery of Insulinde, but what does it mean and how do you know it by heart? Alright, so we just find a solution to the strike. There is a secret way to solve the deadlock. It's not easy, includes lots of back and forth between the two sides, but it's possible. Everything is also possible. Wow. So what were the other two things I needed to do? I've talked to Joyce. We still need to run the victim's armor. Save that somewhere before I lose it. Desktop. Still to do. Save. Alright, when you're ready. Okay, and we've got a another point. Let's put it on physical instrument. Oh, we don't have another point. It was just... no idea. Don't know why that was lit up. Maybe we will never know. Is there anything I can use to move on 5 minutes? Okay. Suggestion. Not easy when Kim's around. After 2100. I'm short 5 minutes. Don't have a book either. It says you can move on time with a book. No time to rest yet. Alright, so we're gonna have to... there's nothing else to do around here. Let's go talk to Clasier about something, whatever it was. Unless the time wants to just click over. I don't think it does. I think it clicks over when you actually do new... Have you got anything to say?
Yes?
So, point to your face. I shaved. Yes, the lieutenant stares at your shaven face, his eyes narrowed. He mumbles, I don't know what to say, he coughs. Perhaps... What is it? You can tell me, Kim. I know. Stunning, right? I knew I shouldn't shave. I knew it and still did it. What an idiot. Oh, achievement unlocked. No, it's okay, I guess. He keeps staring. Apologise 10... Literally the sorriest cop on earth. Apologise 10 times. That's my achievement. No, it's okay, I guess. He keeps staring at you dumbfounded. I may have preferred the mutton chops. They sort of seem to cover the... He stops. Rhetoric. Yeah, damage. He means damage. Either way, good on you. The lieutenant gathers himself. You were saying... That moved it on 2 minutes. 2 effing minutes. Fuck these two idiots. Fuck them right in their ear. What have you got to say? I've got to talk to...
Tornado is back. What do you want?
Nothing new. Gato should be able to tell me about the door at the top.
Just wow. I hope you really enjoyed yourself up there. Had a cathartic experience. Because for the rest of us, that really sucked.
How about I fucking shove your nose up your ass? It's safe to say this was about your karaoke performance. Fuck you, I have a vast soul, and she will always come back to it. Yeah, I sucked up there, I'm sorry. You don't understand my performance. Those high notes, I purposely shredded them to convey a strained, worn-out sadness. Fuck you, I have a vast soul, and she'll always come back to it. Good for you. I'm not letting anyone up there again, ever. Now, what did you want? We've still got 1 minute to waste, alright? Thank you, game. Did minutes move on by moving through areas like this? Nope. Still confused as to why I've never even been to the island, and yet we're apparently at the end of the game. Although maybe the island has something to do with it as well. Okay, let's chat.
What brings you up here in the rain?
Found your buoy, it was empty, just seawater. Raining, oh. Okay, so it was before it was snowing, try again when it stopped. Now it's raining, try again when it stopped. I found your buoy, it was empty, just seawater. Her eyes widened. Oh? Did you take the documents? No, of course not. As I said, it would have been too risky for me to use those documents anyway. My employer gave them to me. In truth, I should have destroyed them. She doesn't seem to be lying. She's generally spooked by their disappearance. I have this strange feeling that it was an undiscovered cryptid that took your documents. Cryptid, of course. That must be it. She takes a drag of her cigarette, warm amusement in her eyes. Thank you. I feel better already. Now that I think about it, you mentioned seawater. I was worried I'd been too careless with the latch. The documents were probably, she waves her cigarette, just washed away. Alright, there we go. We talked to her as required. And what was this again? This was physical instrument. We're still at 3%, at 2. How long has this got to go? Another 4 hours. So we can't open that just yet. Oh my god, I was meant to ask Garter about this. So let's just anyway, we're on the way out here. We've got to go back to our cabin. Trigger the sleep. Trigger the night. And then we will come back tomorrow, both in game and in real life. And talk to, I think I should talk to Evrat. And also ring about the armor and pick up our die. Oh, all sorts of things that we're waiting for the new day. Ring Alice again about, that's about the armor, I think. Wait, Garter, what's the door on the roof?
Is there something you needed?
Saw another thing. Claudia in room 3. She nicked the phone line. Why? He stops himself. No, fuck it. I don't want to know. I don't want to know why these degenerates do what they do. I thought we had one good guest in the building. Well, anyway, mystery solved. I don't like loose ends. Who's Lena? Yeah, neither do I. Thank you for telling me, I guess. Good thing she pays for her stuff on time. I'll forward her the bill and be done with it. Sounds like she has money tucked away somewhere, enough to be a stable paying guest. Curious blue steel door. Don't have a key. I've already been through all of this. Let him get to pretend he's indifferent. So I can't talk about the fucking door at the roof. So that doesn't move anything on either. Alright. Back to the cabin. Ditch Kim. Kim, you could just stay here, my friend, because... Well, hang on. I wonder if I can tell him that.
Yes.
No. Apparently not. So he's going to walk all the way to the cabin from the Whirling in Rags. And then leave me, go back to the whirling in rags, and then in the morning come all the way to the cabin again. You obviously like your cardio, Kim. Where are we headed here? Where are we headed? Up here. There we go. Here's our apartment. Here's our cabin. Here's our whatever. Good night, Kim. Send him away for the night. Good night, officer. We'll meet in front of the shack in the morning. Damn straight we will, motherfucker. Did I do the expression yet? Still 17%. Electrochemistry. Just before we go to sleep, let's see if we can fire up electrochemistry. That's +1 electrochemistry. Nice. Let's see if we can get this up to something worth trying. That's electrochemistry. I don't think electrochemistry will be helped with smoking. There's electrochemistry. Look at what I'm wearing. Here's more electrochemistry. Ah, what I already had on was electrochemistry. Really should, okay, cool. So we're +3 electrochemistry. 58%, let's try it. Oh, we did it. My god, we tried that first on the very first day. It's like something snaps in you, a nerve ending, a thought, a sadness. Your face in the mirror is suddenly clean of the leer that had distorted it for God knows how long. Just like that, it's over. The running gag that your life had become, a sad old man looks back at you. I've lost the expression. I love it. I love it. Alright, before we go, we need to put on, so hat is a +1. What other hats have we got? We want to maximize what we have. That's a +1 as well, so who cares? That's 0. That's a completely random, useless thing, so hats are fine. Jacket's a +2. Okay. I'm gonna have to do that to find out. That's jacket. +1, jacket +0, jacket +1. What do I got? +2. Jacket +2, esprit de corps and shivers or drama electrochemistry. Let's just, who cares? What we've got's fine. And that's a jacket, that's a +1. It's also a +2, esprit de corps visual calculus. No, I'm okay. Okay. +1. Okay, so that'll do. Shirt is just a +1. That's a shirt. That's a +0. That's a +0. The +1. The +1 as well. So we're good so far. This is a +0, so we might be able to do better with the pants. That's a +0. Really? No more plants? That's a +2. Let's put that on. Okay, glasses is a +1. That's a +0, +0, +0, also +0. So we've got the best one. Neck is a -2 physical instrument. Okay, we definitely don't want that. It's a -1. That's a hat. Alright, that's a +1. That's a +2. That's a +2 in drama. I'd rather the bow tie, to be perfectly honest with you. Okay. Gloves is +1. That's +2. Got 2. Well, we've got one of those armors. What other gloves have we got? +1, +1. Okay, that's cool. Shoes, +1. Alright, There we go. So that's just maximizing our bonuses from islands. Why is there still a -1? Ah, yeah. Okay. So do I have glasses that don't have a minus? No. Okay, so we can't avoid having a minus, but that's fine. Just, you know, in general, while you're talking, you know, if you've got +3 on encyclopedia, you're more likely to do some of those secret checks. All right, well, we're not going to go to sleep right away because the nighttime is a whole thing of dreaming and whatnot. So we'll do that first thing tomorrow. We'll try and remember all these other things we need to do, and lo and behold, we will be nearly finished this, I hope. So, hey, thanks for watching. Catch you for the next one. Au revoir, goodbye.